Thanks for logging on to MyFoxHurricane.com. So things starting to get a little bit more active as we get to the end of June, heading towards July. Very typical. More and more areas start to warm up and we start seeing more of these tropical waves, and the likelihood of them developing into something starts to get a little bit higher as well. So we're watching this one disorganized wave working its way towards the Windward Islands. At this point, still remains very disorganized, and overall, the conditions, the atmosphere, the wind shear are really not all that favorable. We're going to see a whole lot of development, but if this can hold on long enough, it might start to show some development as it works its way over toward the Caribbean. So it's just one of those areas we'll kind of bookmark and we'll continue to watch as we go through the coming days. Now, there's also been this other area. This is what's been labeled or designated as Invest 95. This is in the western Gulf of Mexico, just kind of been churning off the coastline of Texas over the past several days. Really still fairly disorganized, but we are starting to see at least a little bit of a low-level organization with this, and so there's the possibility this could become a very short-lived tropical depression. It looks like it's pretty much going to drift on shore later on today and into tonight. So if it were to do anything, it would just almost be a name only, because it is not going to intensify. This is still just some rain working its way up into Texas as we go through the next couple of days. Here are the computer models. You can see it's basically sitting right along the coastline, so it just doesn't have that time to develop, and it'll basically just work its way on to the north, helping to spread some rain across Texas, which overall, that's a good thing for them. You look down to our south, and we've been watching this for days upon days, this potential tropical cyclone number 2. Now, it's been working its way pretty much right along the coastline, so some of these land interactions, that has been an issue for this system. So that, and it just doesn't have that well-defined center of circulation, so that's why it's still a potential tropical cyclone. It has been designated as a full-on system, but now that it's working its way away from land, it's going to get at least some room here to work with. There's the possibility later today, tonight, early tomorrow, this could finally become a tropical storm. Hurricane reconnaissance plane, they are scheduled to fly down there later on this afternoon to see, does it now have that well-defined center of circulation? It has the winds, it's just lacking that core. It needs that core, that well-defined center of circulation and the convection near the center. So currently it is at 12 degrees north, 74 degrees west, moving to the west pretty quickly at 20 miles an hour. You can tell one thing, just because of that quick forward motion, it's really not going to turn. We've got this big high sitting to the north of it. It is just steering it on that straight westward course over the next several days. You can see what it does is that we're expecting to see this intensify up into a tropical storm, making landfall across Central America, and then actually work its way into the Pacific, and that is likely where we'll see more intensification with this as it starts to work its way out over some open waters of the Pacific. So there is the big high sitting to the north, and that is just steering everything in that east to west fashion. We zoom in, and this is that potential tropical cyclone. Here's that other tropical wave, and then we also have that Invest 95 sitting right along the coastline. Put it in motion. There you see, working its way right towards Central America. Still have this tropical wave bringing some rain across the Windward Islands, and then that will continue to work its way into the Caribbean up towards Puerto Rico, it looks like, in the other system, working its way into the Pacific Ocean and just continuing on. So a lot to talk about, a lot of these areas to watch over the next several days. Nothing at all really a threat to the U.S. as we go through the coming days. We'll keep you updated right here on MyFoxHurricane.com.